Quite often I get asked about football and the economics of football by students on my economic courses. And really, football offers so many opportunities for exploring micro and macroeconomics. In fact, I have an entire course, although it is a bit old, about football and football economics, the impact of the 2018 World Cup. Hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of students. But it hasn't led really to any discussions or any questions. But it's there. I'm not trying to encourage you to enroll. You could just go and look at some of the preview lectures. See if it's interesting. Anyway, I was asked recently about the microeconomics of football. So I thought I'd put together a few very, very short lectures. Open-ended. I'm going to encourage you to do extra research. I'll give you links, places for further reading.
"27 years after the founding of the Premier League, it would be difficult for anyone to argue that it is anything other than a great success story. It's the poster boy for a global open free trade in Britain. It's an incredibly successful export business, but players' enormous salaries and transfer fees of hundreds of millions are variously described as obscene, absurd, ludicrous, and even unsustainable. Each year the amount of money spent is not merely sustained, it zooms upwards. But given that in 1981, fewer than 10 First Division English footballers earned more than £175,000 a year, and the average player now commands 15 times that, are those that long for the post-war world of English football, when footballers were skint and players might only receive £10 as a signing-on fee from a transfer worth about £35,000, longing for the halcyon days of football of a bygone era? Or is this best forgotten about? Especially when you consider that as a result of globalisation and technological advances such as the pay TV market, football has become more popular and so much more profitable. The rights for the first seasons of the Premier League in 1992 to 97 sold for less than £200 million. The TV rights for 2016 to 19 were, in comparison, worth more than £5 billion. Joining me to discuss the economics of football is the IEA's Director General, Mark Littlewood.
I'd include some details about a couple of theses that people wrote, a couple of books, some studies, some questions for you to answer. But I stress, some of the things I mention here, perfect competition, oligopoly, monopoly, are not part of the current microeconomic course. So if you do go and read further, that's great, but it's not specifically included in this course. So don't say, you never covered theory of the firm, and you didn't talk about collusive oligopoly, you didn't talk about price fixing or the Bertrand model or the kink demand curve. No, I didn't. That's for you to research. So a few short optional lectures. Let's begin.
Football is the people's game, and its wealth, sustainability and support are all underpinned by the mass gatherings of spectators. Without the fans, the game cannot exist, and even in this digital age, the value proposition of football is its broad global appeal, making it attractive to investors, benefactors, the media, sponsors and advertisers. So when something disrupts the routine of the world's most popular sport, the impact goes way beyond supporters being disorientated. The coronavirus, or COVID-19, has stopped football in its tracks, jeopardizing the ecosystem that feeds thousands of clubs, players and peripheral businesses. Now, the disruption may be temporary, but as well as domestic league and cup programs and continental club competitions, the enforced suspension and ongoing uncertainty has forced the postponement of the European Championship and possibly also the Olympic Games.